Boker Tov, Shavua Tov, new perek, the 8th perek of Masechet Nedarim, Daf Samech Amud Aleph, 60a, and it seems like we're going with the same type of thing, that the person makes a type of neder, and we have to see exactly what it's going on. So the Mishnah starts, Kunam Yain She'ani To'em Hayom. He makes a kunam on wine that I'm going to taste today. So, I'm not making a neder, I'm not tasting wine today. Eno asur, ela ad shetechshach. Asur until nightfall. So if he says that at 2 p.m., so today is till the end of the day, till nightfall. Yeah, that's the Ran speaks out, the top left Ran. The Kevan de Amar Hayom, lo mashma ela ad sheyigmor oto yom, dehainu ad shetechshach. When a person says today, it's until the day ends, which is until sunset. Mishnah continues, Shabbat zu. So a person says, I don't want to have wine, Shabbat zu, this week. Asur bekol Shabbat, you're asur the entire week. V'Shabbat shavra. So in modern Hebrew, you say Shabbat shavra and the Shabbat that passed. So like if let's say it's a Tuesday and you say this, so it means the entire week. And what does it mean Shabbat shavra? It doesn't mean the Shabbat before. But what it means is that Shabbat is considered like the past, meaning it's considered. It's included in the neder. So a person makes a neder on Tuesday. I want to make, I don't want to have any wine this week. So that continues to the rest of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. How do you look at Shabbat? Shabbat, Shavra, Shabbat is part of the past week. So therefore, Shabbat is part of the past week. And
like when you read in the parasha during the week?
It's the seventh day, yeah. So it's part of the past week, and therefore it's included in your neder. Okay. So yeah, so it's considered part of the past week. That's Shabbat Shavra. The Bach changes it l'shavar. Okay. Let's see the Ran about this. Shabbat zu, left side, top left side. Shabbat zu. Im nadar be'echad miyemei hashavua. Person makes a neder on one of the days of the week. Asur bechol yemei hashavua. He's asur on all the days of the week. Ve'yom Shabbat atzmo bichlal isur shel shavua she'avar. And the day of Shabbat itself is included in the isur of the past week. Ki amri inshi Shabbat zu. When people say this Shabbat, this week, ta'atayu al yemei hachol habayim ve'al yom HaShabbat. Their thought is on the next coming weekdays and including Shabbat.
But if the neder is done on a Tuesday, but he drank the wine on Monday, how is it asur?
No. He's going forward. What happened Monday happened Monday. Today is Tuesday. A guy says, I'm making an neder, I don't want to have anything for the rest of the week, any more wine the rest of the week.
Right.
So what happened Monday is fine. Now going forward, so we want to say, when is my neder until? Is it 7 days, or is it till the end of the week?
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, and now that it's till the end of the week, is it including Shabbat or not? And the Mishnah says it is including Shabbat. Shabbat Zol, this week. So what's this week? Including the Shabbat. Next, the Mishnah continues. Chodesh zeh, this month. Asur b'kol chodesh. You're asur the entire month, meaning what's left of the month. V'rosh chodesh lehaba. But Rosh Chodesh is part of the next month.
Are you recording?
I think so, yeah. I also wasn't sure for a moment. Okay, yeah, I think I pressed it. So, Chodesh Zeh, this month. So, Asur b'kol HaChodesh, you're Asur in what's remaining in the month. Rosh Chodesh Laban. Rosh Chodesh is is considered for the next month. So now Aleph B'Chodesh, the first day of the month is always Rosh Chodesh. We also have sometimes like we have 2 days Rosh Chodesh.
This week.
Yeah.
Like this coming week, exactly. So then it's Lamed and Aleph. So the first day, L'chora, I'm just pointing out, I didn't see it on the side or anything. Probably that means that the first day is part of the last month, and then certainly when it's a 1 day Rosh Chodesh, because it's Aleph. Well, let's take a look at the Ran. Chodesh Zeh. Chodesh Zeh, im nadar be'echad miyemei chodesh, you make a neder in one of the days of the month. Asur be'kol chodesh Rosh Chodesh lehaba. She'en Rosh Chodesh she'achar yemei chodesh michlal ha'isur ela lehabahu nimna umutar. Because Rosh Chodesh, after the days of the month, it's not part of the Isur, because it's considered the next month, and therefore Rosh Chodesh itself is mutar. That's what the Mishnah says. Rosh Chodesh lehabba, it's for the future. Back to the Mishnah, what the little chet is. Shana zu asur bekol hashana. Rosh Hashanah le'atid lavo. This year, then you're asur, same type of concept, you're asur the entire rest of the year. What about Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is for the future. So le'atid lavo doesn't mean like distant future. It means le'atid lavo, it's could have said the same thing as lehabba. It's for the next year. Rosh Hashanah is the start of the new year. So it's not part of your neder.
Rabbi, all the time rules now are applicable only to one?
No.
For everything?
Yeah, for anything you make a neder for. One is just an example, like many other things in our. It's just an example. If you say meat for this week, meat for the year, same thing. Yeah. Okay, so Shana zo asur b'chol hashana v'rosh Shana da'ati lavo. Shavua zeh. Shavua is a set of 7 years, the Shemitah cycle. Asur b'kol hashavua v'shevi'it she'avra. You're asur for the entire 7 years, and Shemitah is part of the past 7. It's the 7th year. It's not a new cycle. It's the end of the current cycle, so that's included in the neder. Let's go to the Ran. Shana zu asur b'kol hashana. Dehainu ad Rosh Chodesh Tishrei. Aval Rosh Chodesh Tishrei le'atid lavo ve'enu michlal ha'isur. Rosh Chodesh Tishrei, which is Rosh Hashanah, it's for the future year. It's not included in the Isur. Shavua zeh shnei Shemitah zu. The years of Shemitah, of this Shemitah. Asur ad sheishlemu shisha shanim shel Shemitah. ואסור גם כן בשנה שביעית שדינה כשלעבר, כדי שעבר.
So if you say Shavua, you mean the entire 7 years? The 6 years?
Yeah, well, if it depends. Nowadays, if you say Shavua, you mean a week, right? But if so back then, because Shavua was used, so Shabbat Zu was a Shabbat. Shabbat was a week. So maybe Shavua was a set of 7 years.
Mm.
Okay, so let's take a look at this Ran. It gives another explanation. Zeu Pirush Mishnatenu. So we're continuing in the one we just started, the Shavua Zeh. Ve'acherim Pirshu. Others give a different explanation to this Mishnah. Shabbat Zu Asur B'Kol HaShabbat. When a person says Shabbat Zu, it's Asur the entire week, can go and Sheomed B'Yom HaShabbat. The case is that you are on Shabbat and you're making a neder on Shabbat. V'nadar ve'amar Shabbat Zu. And you say this Shabbat. V'ktani de'asur b'kol Shabbat haba'ah. And what it's saying is you're including the entire week ahead. V'yom HaShabbat zeh she'omed ba'achshav. And what it means is the Shabbat that's included is the Shabbat of today. Even though it's part of last week. So the way that this way is explaining, so the Ran, for all these past runs, explained it as we explained. Now, a new outlook at how to explain the Mishnah. Shabbat Zu is the guy standing on Shabbat, and he's making this neder. So Shabbat also means a week. So his neder is going to start on that day, and it's going to continue the entire week. And it seems like it's going to go until the end of Friday. And what it means is Shabbat is the she'avar, is that the Shabbat he's standing on is considered part of his neder, even though it's the week prior. So you're standing on Shabbat, and the Shabbat that's included is that day itself. Okay, let's continue this one. Chodesh ze asur bekol hachodesh v'rosh chodesh lehaba. So that we said in the Mishnah, Chodesh ze is asur bekol hachodesh, and Rosh Chodesh is for the future. Kagon dekai berosh chodesh. You're standing on Rosh Chodesh. V'ktani de asur bekol hachodesh haba. And you are, so you're saying the neder on Rosh Chodesh, and you're asur for the entire month ahead. Rosh Chodesh atzmo shenadar. And the Rosh Chodesh itself that you made a neder on, it seems like that's going to be not included because it's the haba. V'yom Rosh Chodesh atzmo shenadar v'aparchin b'gemar pshita. Okay. Shana zu, continuing in the run, K'go shenadar b'Rosh Hashanah asur b'shana haba u'b'yom Rosh Hashanah atzmo shediנו כשל haba.
Erev Rosh Hashanah.
Sorry, Shana zo כגון שנדע בראש השנה.
We do it around Nedarim, Erev Rosh Hashanah. The Neder is cancelled before Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah, but now is Rosh Hashanah. You stand on Rosh Hashanah. You make a new neder.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah. Shana zo כגון שנדע בראש השנה. אסור בשנה הבאה וביום ראש השנה עצמו שדינו כלהבא. And Rosh Hashanah itself. Shavua zeh. So it's basically, this explanation is saying that you're standing not in the middle of the week, but on the day itself, and it's including the entire year ahead, the entire week ahead, the entire month ahead. Shavua zeh asur b'kol shavua u'shvi'it l'shavar, klomar dekai b'shana shvi'it. You're standing at some point in the 7th year. V'amar shavua zeh. V'ktani de asur b'kol shnei shmita haba'im. Now you're exactly all the 7 years ahead. ושנה שביעית עצמה שעומד בה, אף על פי שנמנית מכלל שבוע שעברה.
How does it work with the Pesach? I don't understand that, because you need to drink. It's part of the mitzvah, no?
A wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you...
So you're saying, how can you make a neder on
Yeah, you're going over a mitzvah.
going over mitzvah?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we might have discussed this, that if you say specifically, I'm making a neder not to drink the wine on Pesach, like then you're going against the mitzvah. So that you can't do. I think we said if a person says I'm not drinking wine, then the neder works. I mean, you can't make a neder against the mitzvah. So if I say straight out I'm making a neder, I'm not drinking the 4 cups of wine on Pesach. That doesn't work. Your neder
So you
doesn't
were
work.
still Yotzeh with grape juice.
Yeah, so if it's considered wine or not, yeah. So if you say straight out, I don't want to be yotzeh, I'm making a neder not to drink the 4 cups of wine on Pesach, then your neder doesn't even work from the beginning. But if you say, I'm making a neder not to drink wine, now, comes Pesach, and I have a neder that I don't have wine on me, so if you drink wine for the mitzvah, you get the mitzvah of drinking wine, but you violated your neder. But the neder still works because you didn't specify, I think that's what we came out with, you didn't specify, I don't want to do the mitzvah, but I said I just don't want to drink wine. Magadol, in general. Now you're coming to a conflict when it comes to Pesach, or it comes to Shabbat. You're coming to the conflict. So either do Atara Nedarim, or if you didn't do Atara Nedarim, now you drink. Now if you didn't drink the wine, okay, you kept your neder alive. You didn't violate your neder, but you didn't do the mitzvah, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
But if you do the mitzvah, then you got the mitzvah points, but you violated your neder. The neder still stands. Because you didn't specify it on the mitzvah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm at the first wide line of the run over here. לפי הפירושה נראה לי, דמה דקטני גבי שבת ושביעי לשעבר, וגבי חודש ושנה להבא, that it says regarding Shabbat and Shemitah, that it's in the past, and Rosh Chodesh and Rosh Hashanah, it's for the future. Lo ktani kulhu b'lahaba, and it doesn't say all four of them for lahaba. Lashmin and dina denoder be'emtza zmanim elu halalu. Be'emtza Shabbat ve'emtza Shvit asur b'Shabbat v'Shvit habayim. מה שאין כן מנדר באמצע החודש ואמצע השנה שמותר בראש חודש וראש שנה הבאים. So he says that it doesn't say by all four lahaba, because in this pirush you could, if you're standing on that Shabbat, because that Shabbat's included, but that would be lahaba, not l'shavar. So that because that's included in your neder right now. L'shavar is if you're not standing on Shabbat, and now I hit Shabbat, I say, okay, no, that's included. But if I'm standing on Shabbat, it's not l'shavar, it's on the day itself. So he's not so comfortable with this pirush. מיוחד פירושה לתד כיוון דשבת זו או שבוע זה כאמר למה יעשה בשבת ושבוע הבאים? Why would it include if I'm standing on Shabbat or on Shemitah, why would it include the future week? Maybe it's just this Shabbat, this day. If I'm standing on Shabbat and I say the Shabbat Zu is this day, not the whole week ahead. למה יעשה בשבת ושבוע הבאים? הבדן למימר שלא יעשה אלא ביום שבת ושנה שביעית שעומד בהן, on the day itself, קדמים פרק כמה דראש שנה, דמודר הנאה מחברו לשנה, אפילו לא עמד אלא בכ"ט אלול, כיוון שהגיע אחד בתשרי, עלתה לו שנה. So he says, he brings a proof from Masechet Rosh Hashanah. A person says, I'm making a neder on my chaver, not to benefit from the entire year. You're standing on Chavtet Elul, you're standing on Rosh, now here you're at Erev Rosh Hashanah. You're standing on Erev Rosh Hashanah. You say, I want to make a neder. You're not benefiting from the entire year. Just a few hours till Rosh Hashanah. And that's okay, because that's it's considered. So he wants to show from there that if you would say Shabbat Zeh, and you're standing on Shabbat, it's that day. It's not further than that. It's on Shabbat. Ela pirusha kama ikar. He says the first pirush is his main pirush, and therefore that's the main way to learn it. The first way to learn the Mishnah, which is you're standing in the middle of the week, and now it includes what's left of the week, and the Shabbat is included. It includes what's left of the month. Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Chodesh is the next month. It's what's included in the rest of the year, and Rosh Hashanah is the next year. What's included in the rest of the Shemitah cycle, but Shemitah is part of the year of the cycle. Okay, back to the Mishnah. We're at the middle of the Mishnah where the little yud is. V'imamar yom echad. The person says, I'm not having wine for one day. Right? Not today, for one day. Or Shabbat achat for 1 week. I'm making asur one on me for a day. I make asur one on me for a week. Chodesh achad for a month. Shana achad for a year. Shavua achad for 7 years. Asur miyom leyom. Yom leyom is exactly from that moment to that moment. So if you said it at 2 p.m. on a Sunday, and you said, I'm not having wine for a day, then count from 2 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday. That's Yom Leyom. So there's a big difference between Yom Echad and Hayom. If I say today, it's till the end of the day, till sunset. If I say Yom Echad for 1 day, it's 24 hours. Now, a person says, Ada Pesach. I'm not having wine till Pesach. So here the Mishnah brings the case. You have to have one at Pesach. So actually, before we do the Pesach, let's just do this one liner of the Ran, the 5 lines up from the bottom of the Ran. V'imamar yom echad Shabbat achat asur miyom leyom. Klomar hekef echad. Yom leyom is hekef echad is like one circle, one revolution, 124 hours. U'biyom echad asur me'et la'et, from time to time, and from that moment to that moment the next day. Okay, Ada Pesach.
I thought that was the majority of the day.
No, me'et le'et, from time to time. It's from the exact time. It's exact thing as meyom le'yom.
But when you say me'et le'et, when it comes to like other dinim,
Like Brit Milah,
yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like a person, the kid's sick?
No, but if you Brit Milah, you don't have to do it the same time.
Yeah, you do. If a kid is sick, so if a kid is sick, and the choli is echad me'evarav, not in his whole
Yeah.
body,
Yeah.
then whenever the kid is better, then you do Brit Milah.
Right.
But if it's a chole b'kol gufo, you have to wait a week, right?
Right.
But it's a week me'et le'et. Meaning, if let's say, so where do you count the me'et le'et from? They say, I think, from when the doctor says, oh, this is a full body, or the rabbi says this is a full body sickness. So if it's full body sickness, and he said it at 10 a.m., you have to wait till at least 10 a.m. a week later. The next thing.
Huh.
Yeah. So me'et le'et is from time to time. Okay, but then in that case also we don't do it on like a Thursday, Friday, right?
Right.
Because the Shabbat. So anyways, it ends up being over a week, and then you're for sure after the 7 days. But if it would be exactly 7 days, you'd have to see that it's after that time. Okay, back to the Mishnah. Ada Pesach. It says, I don't want to have wine until Pesach. Asur ad sheyagia. It's asur until Pesach arrives, and this is now the Mishnah is touching upon a concept, which is I was actually teaching it this week in the Gemara in the yeshiva that I teach at. Ad, the word until, is it ad ve'ad bichlal or ad ve'lo ad bichlal? That's the wording. Is it until and until? The until is including, or the until is not including?
It's like a concept in this software development, as we have a loop, and the loop goes until you give him the bigger, equal, or smaller than, right? So it's very similar, I think, because here it's like, are you including
Exactly.
the Pesach or not including?
Exactly.
It's gonna be bigger or smaller?
Right. So
Or
ad
equal.
Pesach, is it so generally the way people talk is ad Pesach until Pesach starts. So an example I give is ad Mea V'Esrim. You should live ad Mea V'Esrim, right? Until 120 years. So
Include 120.
Huh?
He has to include 120.
So 1 second. So now let's say, okay, today's a good example. Today's my birthday, right? English birthday. Today I'm 42, right? So Baruch Hashem, I've lived. Thank you Hashem. I lived 42 full years because I started 0 and wanted to. So tomorrow I'm in my 43rd year. I start my 43rd year. But we always say you're 42 until you hit your birthday, 43. So when I say Ad Mea V'Esrim, am I saying until your 120th birthday, or am I saying until the day before you turn 121? Ad Mea V'Esrim is Ad Ve'lo Ad Bichlal, until, not including that year, that until, or until including the 120. So is it ad until 120 or until the day before 121? That's what's going on, right? That's ad bichlal or ad v'lo ad bichlal. I know someone that says, if you ask him what his birthday is, it's okay, so let's say tomorrow I'm in my 43rd year, he would say he's 43. I said, well, what? You're not 43, you're 42. And he said, no, I'm in my 43rd year, so I'm 43. That's what this person would say. But anyways, it's something that kids would say. The guy was like 80 years old and he told me that.
You make yourself younger by doing that.
No, you make yourself older.
1 year, huh?
No, you make yourself older by doing that because you say I'm 43, but I'm really 42.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah, you make yourself older. I'm saying so kids like to do that. They'll go, oh no, I'm 10. You're really dying, or this, right? So, yeah, it was funny. One of my kids, he wanted to be older, so his birthday is September 1st. But his Hebrew birthday, it always fluctuates. So that year was August 10th, his Hebrew birthday. So someone asked him, like a random person, like maybe in a drugstore or doctor, when's your birthday? He said August 10th. Like as if like it's set that day. We always make fun of him, because he is like, you want to be older always. Okay. So Ada Pesach, Asur ad sheyagia, until Pesach arrives. Ad sheyeh. So this is ad sheyeh Pesach. Until it is. So you would think it's the same thing in modern Hebrew, but here the Mishnah says asur ad sheyetze Pesach. Ad sheyeh is asur ad sheyetze until Pesach goes out.
Yeah.
Ad lifnei Pesach, until before Pesach. So a little gimel over here. Yeah. Okay. Ad pene Pesach, but ad lifnei Pesach. Rabbi Meir Omer ad asur ad sheyagia until it arrives, and that's like exactly like modern Hebrew. Ad lifnei Pesach, until before Pesach, until the moment before Pesach. Rabbi Yosef Omer asur ad sheyetze, until Pesach yotze. That's ad lifnei Pesach means until Pesach, until the when Pesach's over, then your net is over. So a nice explanation to this, how do we understand that, is we take a look at the Tosfot. It's on the left side, but it's in the my Gemara. It's in the left side. It's like over here. 4 lines up on the Tosfot. Rabbi Yosef Omer Ad Sheyetze. The Shema Achikamar says maybe this is what it means. Ad Peneh Sha'a Achrona Shel Yom Acharon Shel Pesach. So Ad Lifnei Pesach, until before Pesach. It's so lifnei comes from the word peneh, the face of, until the face of Pesach. So lifnei means before. So until I see the face of, so that's before. So the Shema, remember this is what it means. Ad peneh sha'a achrona shel yom acharon shel Pesach. The savar, the machit inish nafshe l'sfeka. People put themselves in a safek. Shema nitkaven, maybe he meant lomar peneh sha'a achrona, until the face of the last moment of Pesach. Ad lifnei Pesach means until the face of the last moment of Pesach. And that's the Yossi is going to say, Ad sheyetze. Okay, so our Mishnah started with Shabbat Zu this week. That means on a Tuesday until the end of the week. And then we brought a case of Yom Echad. That's one day, that's 24 hours. Or Shabbat Achat, it's 7 full days. And now Ad Pesach is until Pesach starts. Ad sheyeh, everybody agrees, is until Pesach leaves. Ad lifnei, there's a machloket. Okay, so I know we're at 45, and that's why I read the long run, because I knew it was going to be a shorter shiur today. But we're going to end over here. And we'll continue, because tomorrow it really goes into the next, goes into the next daf. So we'll finish here today. And tomorrow we'll finish the rest of the daf. Gemara starts off with a question, a gezerah. Like, okay, we'll keep it for tomorrow. I was debating last night the whole time. Should I prepared a little bit into it, but it really continues further into it. And then either today would be a short shiur and we get in there, put on tefillin and start on time, or tomorrow will be a really short shiur. So I said, you know what, tomorrow will be regular length. All right, we'll end over here. We'll start the Gemara tomorrow, B'shat Hashem.